Welcome to another edition of Eyes and Teeth, The Water Rats. I'm currently enjoying a BBC TV special on Welsh comedy. Ellis James is the host, and it's called Funny Nation. I recommend it highly. You'll see Max Boyce on there, you see Rob Brydon, you see Rod Gilbert, and Noel James. Very funny people. And I'm waiting to see this next guy on there. They can't leave him out. He's a legend. Especially in Wales, he had his own TV shows. He smashes the box office in his pantomime. So let's hope he is on there. But anyway, he's here now. Today's special guest is Mike Doyle. I first saw Mike on holiday in Barry Island in 1993 when I went with my mum and dad and my sister Hayley. We sat and watched Mike and he blew us away. I remember how funny he was and that he finished his act on Nessun Dorma. And the whole crowd were on their feet screaming for more. He has that magic and powerful energy that Brian Connolly, Joe Pasquale, Alan Stewart, Bradley Walsh, Bobby Davro, they all had it. And it's the command of an audience, of a room, no matter what size. Weeks after that holiday, I was offered the job to come back to the same venue, Barry Island, and was looking forward to seeing Mike again. He was our weekly cabaret entertainer, and we could not wait for Mike Doyle night. From the moment he would arrive, he'd turn up, perform in the afternoon theatre show and later in the adult Pig and Whistle venue. But the best thing was that he would stay after the show and surrounded by all the Barry Island entertainers, he'd have everyone in stitches. I was so shy, so I just sat there in awe, listening to the stories, enjoying the laughter. I felt like one of the lads for the first time. From that gig in 1993, I never saw Mike again until a few years back on a cruise ship. We were working together after 25 years since we first met, and he still had that magic. The audience still love him, and you can tell that he loves his work. I'm excited to talk about Barry Island with him, but especially to talk to one of the Wales' own superstars, that is Mike Doyle. Eyes and Teeth. Good day to you, Mike. Hello, sir.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, bless you. I've been looking forward to this. I went on holiday in 93 to Barry Island with my family, and John Oliver offered me a job, so I ended up working there.
You sent me the photograph, and I just can't believe. I mean, it's a brilliant photograph, and I'll never get rid of that. Of you and I, in fact, Barry Butlins.
Yeah, I know, Barry Island, 93. And that was when I was on my holiday before I came back 2 weeks later as a blue coat at Barry Island. And so...
excuse me, a red coat.
Well, I know it wasn't actually Butlins then. They were blue coats. So we were...
Oh,
yeah, when you did it, at that point, it was Majestic. So I think Rick Wright owned it. And so they ripped out Butlins and just gave us blue coats, red bow ties and white shirts. It was Butlins, wasn't it?
It used to be, yeah. Those were the days, flipping heck. Those awful chalets.
I know. I shared with an impressionist.
No soundproofing.
No. We heard all the blue coats, stroke red coats next door.
The goings on.
Yes, they went on, they went off, they went on, they went off. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But Barry Island is one of those, lasting memories of proper Heidi High, wasn't it? Barry Island.
I think through Gavin and Stacey, I think it's kind of found its way again.
Yes.
I was down there only a few days ago doing a little filming job.
I want to hear about this. It was ventriloquist based, wasn't it? So,
it was two films. The first one we did, which was a longer job, and I was playing the part of a guy who's sick and tired of the pandemic, basically, and everything is wrong in his life. And it's the character's called Cledwin, and he's just sick and tired of life, and he goes to pay for a coffee, and they say, £2.40, please. Well, it's a lovely scene with a £2.40, and so we did that, and then at the end of the filming, the director, Robert Jenkins, said to me, listen, he said, I've got this silly idea to tell you. He said, we're 4 comedians, a wheel, spin the wheel, and it's all improv. So I know it's nothing new, but it's all about taking the comedian out of his or her comfort zone.
Yes.
So we had it set up for me, obviously, and it was a puppet. And I named the puppet Pelvis, and I used a voice like this. it's my first day of being a ventriloquist. So once I get the puppy, his name's Elvis, and once I do see me struggling to get the left arm into his left arm, and I'm looking at the camera saying, well, as you can see, boys and girls, Elvis is helping me here, sorting myself out, and then there's an imaginary person who keeps interrupting us. Sorry, what was that? Elvis, of course, is when he speaks. Of course, he speaks like Elvis. So that was that.
Oh, brilliant!
If I've got the courage, I'll send you the. I'll send you the clip.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty rubbish, really.
Is that for a film festival, for local TV, or is it for a pilot that's going out, or?
No, it's just something that we threw together, and we're going to do a few more like that.
Lovely.
And,
you never know where it can lead, do you?
Yeah, no, I know. But it was good fun to do. Keep the acting thing going as much as I possibly can. Yeah, so the bigger film, yes, that will go for film festivals and things like that.
Brilliant. Oh, well, I look forward to that, mate. We'll spread it when it comes round and stuff.
Yeah,
We know as our fellow water rat, Jeff Stevenson, done a film called Touching the Blue about a snooker player. And so,
that's right.
yeah, so there's a lot of comedians that love acting, that were actors and went into comedy or the other way round. And it's great to have another passion, isn't it? To sort of go into, but I mean, you've been in bands, you've been a solo comedy act, music act, musicals, acting. You've done everything. So can we go back to when you were in this wonderful group called Moonshine? Was that the first one, or was there one called Tattoo and Casual Affair?
Yeah, Tattoo. Yeah, I mean,
what was the first?
Once I got the guitar for Christmas and I learned how to play C, my life completely changed. And my dad. I was supposed to be having a bike for Christmas, and on Christmas Eve, I went across to the Catholic Youth Club, and I could hear them all singing in the youth club. And I was just, I thought, wow, look at this, guitars, people singing and playing guitars. I'd only ever seen a guitar on the television. I'd never seen a real one before, and people actually playing them.
Wow.
And I ran home, and I said to my dad, I don't want a bike for Christmas anymore. And I'd love to tell you what he said, it didn't go down very well, and there was an awful row in the house, and I said, I want a guitar. And he'd been working nights on open cast mining, and it was like really tough and all that. Anyway, he goes out, slams the door, my mother goes, oh, well done, you've ruined Christmas. He goes down, this is like bullet pointing it, but he went down, had a few drinks. Christmas Day comes, and he says, oh, hang on, there's another present behind the settee. So I have a look behind the settee, and there's a triangular cardboard box.
Oh, spike.
Open it then, open it. I remember placing it gently on top of the fake sheepskin rug that housed about 19 fleas due to having 4 cats. That had never seen a vet in their lives. So I opened this box, and there was this guitar. My dad had bumped into the manager of Picton Music, which was our local music store, and they didn't have alarms in those days, so so they went in. He said, how much? It was £16 and 16 shillings, and my dad got it for me. And I'll never forget my brother Phil. He popped his head from behind my mother's pinny, and he went, any chance of me having a bike?
Did he get the bike?
The guitar, and then of course you go to school, you got a guitar, you meet up with like-minded people like, Andy, my mate, had a set of drums, Spud, Richard Spud Arundel was a very good lead guitar player. Andy Fat Edwards had a bass guitar. We all got together and started a little group, and that was it. I wanted nothing else. I didn't want girlfriends. I didn't want a sport. I didn't want a school. I wasn't interested in anything.
That was it.
One exam.
The guitar.
I didn't have one exam to my name. All I was interested in was standing there, singing a song and playing a guitar. So Tattoo was our first band, and it was great fun. It really was just the best laugh, and we were pretty rubbish, of course. And then Speed Limit came along, and that was us trying to write all our own songs and stuff. And but then Moonshine came along, and that was my first professional band.
Brilliant. What genre of music did you write? What songs were you writing? Was it rock? Was it
Listen, I can
ska?
still play them to this day.
Okay.
They're all rubbish, you know. It was all funky, all kind of funky stuff. You know.
Okay.
We wrote a song called Lady Save Your Soul, and I was like 16 years old. What do I know about saying to a woman to save her soul? You know, she sat beneath the window, the red light up above. I looked her up, I looked her down, she offered me all of her love. I said, lady, woo, save your soul.
Mate, I really like that. That's nice.
Oh,
That's got a nice little tinge of porn music in the background there.
oh dear, 16, 17 years old, knew nothing, you know.
Oh, bless you. I quite liked it. I mean, but that's where it all started, isn't it? So you don't forget those years. It's amazing.
They were the very beginning, you know.
So you've done that for quite a few years, didn't you? I was a roadie for a ventriloquist called Jimmy Tamley when I was a teenager, and we would cross over the bridge from Basingstoke. We'd go over to Wales, and I would roadie for him, but he would do so many gigs in Wales. The clubland there was so big. So your bands played all of those clubs up and down Wales.
Massive. Clubland in South Wales, when I first started out, and especially when I'd left the band and I'd become a solo performer, as it were. I'm in my 20s now, and for example, I could be working Thursday night at the Bridge End Rugby Club.
Yeah.
Friday night, I would be working a doubler, so I'd be doing the Swansea Railwaymen's Club, and then 11 o'clock spot at the Black Hills Grill. Then Saturday, I'd work Pencoed British Legion Club, and then the lake spot at the Black Hills Grill. So like that's 5 gigs.
One weekend.
5 gigs in 3 days.
Wow.
And if you were lucky, you had a Sunday lunch and a Sunday night gig as well. So, you know, the money was like, in those days, 40 quid and, you know, 35 quid, 40 quid, 45 quid. And when you worked your way up to £100 act, you really felt you'd made it, you know.
Oh, amazing. Well, that felt good back then, didn't it? And it was a good fee, really, for back then. That was. But if you got 5 of them in a week, that's not bad at all.
Well, especially when I worked in a garage as well. My dad made me do an apprenticeship. I was, I'm a qualified paint sprayer.
Okay. They call that graffiti artist round here. Yeah.
Well, when I left school with no exams, nothing at all, didn't pass the 11 plus, had no exams, nothing to my name. So my dad just made one phone call, and I was in work. I left school on the Friday. I was in work on the Monday as an apprentice paint sprayer. Howell's Garage, Pensarn, 4 years now.
Oh, brilliant. It's amazing that your dad's got your back, though. He wanted you to have something to fall back on. And
I hated it, though.
Did you?
I hated it, you know.
Did he know you hated it?
Spraying cars, you know, cleaning cars. For the first year of my apprenticeship, all I did was go and get chips for the boys and make cups of tea and clean up the workshops.
You want to get out?
The whole year.
So when you were doing that job, were you still doing the clubs? Were you still...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I was burning the candle both ends.
With the bands. So you're working really hard.
And then during the summer, 1980, for argument's sake, I was working during the day in this garage spraying cars. And then every single night, well, 6 nights a week, we were a resident band at Holly Marine Holiday Park in Newquay in West Wales.
Blimey. Wow.
So it was a serious burning the candle both ends.
Complete energy, isn't it? Adrenaline rush, and then back to work Monday morning. But when did you start to introduce? Did you introduce comedy while you were doing the 3-piece band, the 4-piece band, or was it straight
really,
songs?
Not really. I was when I started on my own. I was going around as a singer, and the posters used to say the personality and the voice of Mike Doyle.
They noticed something different other than song, which is nice.
Yeah. I then managed, I think this was about 1980, 81 or 83, 83 I think it was, 83. There was a lot of TV people going around, scouts, you know.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names, Steve, at the minute. I should know their names because they were really big producers and stuff in the day, you know. And I did this club in Swansea, a really tough, hard club in its day called the Swansea Dockers Club.
Okay.
And in the audience was Bill Hattersley. Wow! Isn't that amazing?
It come to you.
Oh, so Bill Hattersley and Nigel Lithgow. Remember Nigel Lithgow?
I know Nigel Lithgow. I met him once on a TV show I did, but yeah, he's massive now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's massive now. So Nigel Lithgow and Bill Hattersley, and they were in the audience. They asked to see me afterwards, and before you know it, then I was up in Elstree Studios in London, working with Lionel Blair, of all people. And then I did a programme called Saturday Royal, and on that programme was the likes of Duncan Norvell, Peter Piper, Dudley Doolittle.
Got to be a stage name, innit?
You know, and so many more. Gary Wilmot, he found his name on there. So anyway, I do this programme, you know, do this thing called Saturday Royal, and it came from the Theatre Royal in Nottingham. All the music and everything was done at Elstree Studios. So,
oh wow!
All of a sudden, I've got on the telly. You know, flipping heck.
That was quick.
Wow, how did that happen? You know, and then went round the clubs and money went up a bit because I was on telly that night. And then I auditioned for Bob Says Opportunity Knocks.
Eyes and Teeth.
Failed that audition. Stuart, what's his name, the director, he didn't really like me much. I just didn't know. He wanted, just give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes? How do you do 5 minutes, you know? We used to work in men clubs. We work hard for, you know, you're on stage for an hour, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you got to edit that act. It's not easy, is it?
And then Bob Monkhouse ran out into the street in Cardiff, and he said, look, I think you can do this. I'm going to talk to Stuart, and we'll be in touch. So they got in touch with me, and Bob got me a job for 4 weeks as the warm-up man for Opportunity Knocks at the BBC.
Ah, amazing.
So he says to me, Bob, look, I've written all these gags for you, these routines. I think will work with what you've got. So I worked with Charlie Adam, who is
Paul's dad.
His dad,
yeah, I knew Charlie. Yeah, bless him.
Brilliant.
Great writer.
Script writer. You know, he helped me. Colin Edmonds.
His name's come up a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know you know these people.
Another great writer.
Another great writer. So Bob, you know, they sat down with these and they put things together for me. And then Bob says, all I ask is, can you not move around on the set and don't go into the audience? I know you're going to be the warm-up man, and I know you want to entertain them, and you'll probably go better if you did it your way, but I don't want you to move. But he didn't. He never told me why. And the reason why he didn't want me to move, because he blagged it that they filmed me. So they put together a little reel, showed it to the director. Director said, I love it. Put me on, and I want it. Hey.
Oh, amazing. I mean, I've seen a clip. You've got some lovely clips on your website, Mike, and I've seen a brilliant...
It's all old stuff, isn't it?
But it's wonderful to look back and see those, and you can see that Bob Monkhouse has got a shine in his eyes for you. He really did take to you, didn't he? And genuinely, he liked you.
We got on so very, very well, and I worked with him after that as well. You know, I remember bumping into him in Covent Garden. I said, hello, Bob, it's me, Mike Doyle. And he just said, Mike, lovely to see you. How's your boy now? Did he have the ear operation? I think he was having it last summer. I thought, God, he knows everything. You know? He remembers names, he remembers everything. And he said, well, funny I should bump into you, he says, but I was with Laurie Mansfield then, I think, the agent. The following week, I get a gig on Celebrity Squares. And you think, flipping heck, man. So that was like bumping into him, you know.
Synchronicity. That's great, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah. So I did 2 or 3 of those Celebrity Squares with Joe Pasquale and Frank Carson and all that. Crikey, Moses.
Yeah, the late 80s, early 90s was great for variety. Celebrity Squares 321, all those shows were on, weren't they? And they had all the variety stars on, the summertime specials, and you were on all of those, you know, because it ran a great time.
The majority of them, yeah, and little afternoon shows like Pebble Mill at 1 and things like that. And they had a full orchestra, you know, I say full orchestra, they had a big band then, on Pebble Mill at 1, and you think, gosh, it's so different today, huh?
Oh, definitely. There's nowhere to go, is there, Mike? I mean, the Des O'Connor show is one of the most iconic shows to get on as an entertainer. Yeah. You did do Des O'Connor, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did. And I've got some lovely memories of that time over at Thames with the Des O'Connor show. How I got that was they were looking for acts and they'd come to Blackpool, and I was on the Danny LaRue show at the time. But Bradley Walsh got picked up to go on there. Mick Miller got picked up to go on there. Like loads of, and thank goodness. And
Yes.
So did I. And my day to go and record, I was on with Freddie Starr.
Wow.
And Des O'Connor said to me, he said, every man and his dog will be watching. You've got the right episode,
Yes.
Guaranteed an audience with Freddie Starr. But Freddie was at his best,
Yeah, we with the red suit, we always tuned in when Freddie was on the Des O'Connor show. So everyone was watching. My whole family tuned into Freddie on Des.
Yeah, I arrived there, dead nervous and that, I know what I'm going to do and everything, and I get to meet everybody, and of course I then get to meet Freddie Starr. We then go to the green room, and Mary Chipperfield is there, and she's got one of the chimpanzees.
Wow.
You don't get stories like this in bloody Nat West.
No, it doesn't matter how many times we have to retrain for a new job. You won't get these stories in these jobs, as a butcher or no.
So he sat there, and he's got the chimpanzee, the monkey, right, on his knee, and he's chatting to this chimpanzee, and he's going, yeah, well, I think I'm going wrong with my careers because I really feel people don't understand me, and I get a bad rap, and and of course the monkey's like kissing him in his ear, and he's going, yeah, I agree. Yeah. So we thought, well, that's funny for about a minute.
Yeah.
Mate, the monkey was with him for the day.
No, he wouldn't let go.
He was walking around with the monkey holding his hand.
Wow.
Right, and then Freddie Starr says to me, Michael Doyle, isn't it? Melvin, Welshman Melvin, isn't it? Mike Doyle, oh yes, boy. I'm going, yeah, it's funny, Freddie. He's going, let's look at your dressing room, he says, because mine is enormous. I've got the suite, you see, I'm the big star. But of course, the big star on the show, Kenny Rogers, who Freddie kept calling him Benny.
Benny Rogers.
It was so funny, man. So anyway, I say, this is my dressing room, Freddie. Yeah. So this is where they put the nobodies, the people nobody's heard of going here, And I'm going, yeah, of course, and rightly so. And he said, come and look at my room. And he opens his door, pushes me in, and he locks me in there. It's a cupboard, basically.
Ah.
I'm in this kind of cupboard with loads of filing cabinets and things. And I'm in the dark, and I'm locked in there. Now I'm going, but then like 20 minutes go by and I'm still in there.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then he's on the studio floor telling people, see, this Mike Doyle is so unprofessional. He should be here now. Where is he?
Kidding me. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a phone inside this cupboard on the wall, and I picked it up. Didn't have to dial anything, and all of a sudden it was a security or reception or whatever, and they came and let me out. Yeah, so I told Des this, and oh man, it was just such a great day. And then Kenny Rogers, he said to Kenny Rogers afterwards in the green room when we finished the show, he said, look at that watch you're wearing there. He said, it's disgusting, all the starving kids in the world. He said, look at that watch. He said, all them diamonds on it. He said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Benny, you should be ashamed. He's going, hey, come on now, Freddie, my name's Ken, you know that. And hey, look at that Rolex you've got on your wrist. He said, you can't talk. He said, this Rolex, he says, you're right. He said, I'm ashamed. And Freddie took it off his wrist, knocked his boot off, which had those metal skeg things, and he hammered the crap out of the watch.
No.
Yeah, he hammered and smashed it. Then he stood in it and jumped up on it, and then he threw it out the window. And Kenny Rogers went, man, you really are insane. And then we all went quiet in the room. And Kenny called one of his people, went, give me another watch out of the case. They were just fakes.
You're joking. So you think he planned all of these pranks and these really apart from locking you in the cupboards? I mean, he always had a reason for it.
Yeah, he planned the watch gag, didn't he?
Yeah.
So in the case, he had about 2 or 3 more, or maybe more, and they're just from Turkey or somewhere.
Oh wow!
20 quid each.
I wonder if he ever done that on TV, or was that just in the dressing room type thing that he did?
I think that's one of his kind of offstage things,
Yeah. You know, Mike, I've heard so many stories about Freddie, and it just sounds like, and this is all off camera. This is not on TV. It's crazy, crazy stuff that he got up to, but
Well,
it's everyone's got
I
a
went to see him
story.
at Sabbath in Usk, and I went round the dressing room. I said, yes, Freddie, can I say hi? I understand, maybe not before the show. And then this guy comes along, Scottish guy who he was, and he goes, come on, mate. He said, Freddie, we're really thrilled to see you. Oh, it's great. You live here, don't you? I said, yeah, I do, yeah. I went round and I said, Freddie, and then we sat down and chatted and laughed and whatever. Then I saw his set list and I went, oh, brilliant. I said, I love you opening up. I said, with that it's all right, Mama. Or CC Rider. I said, I love it. I love that we do that Elvis stuff. And he goes, what makes you think I'm fucking opening up with that? And I says, well, it's your set list. I mean, he's nothing, man. He's nothing. Will you ever learn? And then he told me to leave, and I thought, God, I've upset him. Oh my God, I've upset him.
Blimey.
So they went, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, it's Freddie Starr. The big drums, the Elvis. He comes on, stops, he goes, ladies and gentlemen, the press, I know the press are here. The press are here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let it be known that Mike Doyle is my love child. He's my love child. Yes, he, me. I and his mother, we did it many, many years ago, and sorry that you had to find this out, and I wanted to be known for the ladies and gentlemen of the press, right? Then he came off the stage, snogged me, glasses went everywhere, got back up on the stage, told the band, he went, QC, they went ring, and he went, silence night. But it didn't just stop there. That was his opening song. He sang Silent Night all the way through, all the verses, all the choruses, and all the audience sang with him. And I just went, genius.
Wow, what is in that guy's mind? It's
Showbiz stories, eh? I never get a chance to tell these stories because no one believes you,
no, but everyone wants to hear them. It's a fascinating person, wasn't he? It's just. But you are, and you've worked with some great people, and I'm talking about pantomime as well. You've worked with Knight Rider, you've worked with Frank Bruno, but great comedy stars as well, Mike, like Dora Bryan, Powys and Jones. I worked with them once. Love those guys. John Chalice, Don McLean, Roger Kitter, Julian Clary. So what do you love about panto, and what about these comedy acts that you've worked with?
No two shows are the same.
No.
You either love pantomime or you don't. And sometimes when you're in a cast and you can tell if you're with somebody who's just thinking, oh God, another show tonight, oh God. It is hard work. It's very much a hard genre. It's tough. Pantomime's tough.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it. And I'm now celebrating 31 years in panto and 45 years in showbiz.
Oh, amazing.
So, your question was, what are some of these people like? I mean, I have got stories I got some that I can't really tell.
Save them for your book, because I want your book. I can't wait for it. You've got to be writing a book, but save them.
Steve, there's like innocent little stories, right? Innocent. Like Dora Bryan, you mentioned her.
Yeah.
John Chalice is playing Captain Hook. I am playing Mr. Smee. Dora Bryan, in her 80s, is playing the mermaid, right? So, Captain Hook says to Peter Pan, Pan, Peter Pan, come with me, boy, and I'll make all your dreams come true, Peter Pan. On comes Dora Bryan, dressed as a mermaid, walks on. Hello, everybody. Looks at John Chalice and goes, oh, Reggie. Oh, hello, Captain. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm not in this bit. I mean, it brought the house down. I mean, Frank Bruno. I mean...
You had Dora Bryan there. That was amazing.
Carl Howman said to me, Steve, right, he went, right, now, all I'm asking you to do, Mikey, is make sure that Frank gets onto X marks the spot. All I'm asking, mate, I can't be there. You just make sure you're in the wings, you're there. Make sure he's, and this is Frank Bruno, Bruno, who I am absolutely in awe of, and I'm looking at him, and I'm tall, and he's a lot taller, and he's in the wings. Just it's opening night. He's not taking anything seriously. He's just there going, and I'm just thinking, oh God, please, Frank. The crowd are all going, Bruno, 2,500 people. It's the Birmingham Hippodrome. Bruno,
beautiful theatre.
Frank, please, just go on to this. You've got to make the spot because the gauze curtain. You'll just bleed through and you'll be there and they'll scream. Please just be there, Frank. Relax, Billy. He called me Billy because he can never remember my name. So he's on X marks the spot. There's seconds to go, and he turns around to me and goes, "Oi, Billy!" I'm thinking, "Oh my God, your mic will be live." I'm going, "Frank, shh." He went, "I went into the ring with Tyson twice. This is a piece of fish."
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Oh,
see the stories. That's what people love to hear, and that's what this means a lot to me. Sort of catching up with people like yourself and sharing the stories and archiving just these brilliant people that we've had the chance to work with. It's fantastic. And you've got some great TV clips on your website, like the Pebble Mill with Ross King. Another brother. We keep talking about brother water rats. That there's such a connection there, And there's a story on there. Are you able to share with us when you introduced an Australian star on stage, and it's one of those moments that hit you when you go blank.
Yeah.
Do you remember
I've gone blank now.
I can't remember if it was.
Oh no! Is this no? No! I know what you're saying. Gosh, how do you know about this?
It's. I watched a lot of your interviews yesterday, and there's a lovely. I think it was on Pebble Mill with Ross King, and you told it.
Did I really tell that story?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
There is nothing worse, is there, in forgetting someone's name. I don't know whether this is the story you're thinking of, but this was when I was in Australia and I was working on the old Oriana. This is the Oriana before the Oriana.
Oh, okay. I worked on the last Oriana, which I loved it on there, by the way. But yeah, so you're on the first Oriana.
This is the first Oriana, launched in 1960.
So your first cruise ship, was it?
First ever cruise ship, and I fly out to Sydney to join it, and that year was 1982, 83. So I joined on the 27th of August, and I flew home on the 12th of January the next year. So I get there, and my job is an entertainment officer. So I'm not a performer or anything, although they did allow you to build your spot while you were on board, so
Okay.
that helped a great deal. So the cabaret was about to come on, and they said, "Well, you're going to introduce it tonight, Mike. You're the comp there." So I went, "So ladies and gentlemen, tonight in the Plymouth Room, an amazing performer." I've completely forgotten his name. An amazing performer. An absolute joy in rehearsals. We've never had so much fun. Of course, you all know him so well. I don't even need to say his name. Why am I? I turned round to the band and I went, "Name? What's his bloody name?" And one of the band members went, "Mickey Mouse," which I didn't hear the first time. So I went, sorry. He went, "Mickey Mouse." I went, "Oh God. So
Good on you, boys.
The guy's name, by the way, is Wayne Cornell, and he's a massive star in Australia, and he was like their Frank Sinatra, if you know what I mean, because they have their big scene out there too,
Yeah.
So Wayne Cornell, right? So I then say, "So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome," and I went, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." And I run into the wings. I went, "I'm so sorry, what's your name?" He went, "Wayne Cornell. Wayne Cornell." I went, "I'm so sorry." Run back on and went, "Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Saw the fly. Happened to anybody. It happened to me. Never mind. Move on. Please welcome Mr. Jack Parnell."
Oh, controversial.
Jack Parnell. Now, I want you now to imagine, so I lead that ship and all the rest of it, and then about 10 or 15 years have gone by. I'm back out in Australia, and I'm doing some work out there. doing some work in some clubs and theatres out there. And I go to this woman's house called Sylvia Ray, who's a fantastic singer out in Australia. Big friends with Frank Ifield and all that. Right?
All right, yeah.
Another rat. So
Yes.
yeah. So I'm at her house, and she's waffling on about this, and we're going to have a barbecue. I've got a hangover as well. And all of a sudden the phone rings, and she's going, "Oh right, yeah," and then she went, "Don't you be so ridiculous, Mr. Wayne Cornell." She said, Can you put me on the phone? Can you put me on the phone? So I go on the phone to him, and I said, Is that Jack Parnell? And he went, "Oh my goodness, Mike, I have dined out on that story for the last 15 years.
Oh, lovely.
I said, well, it's a bit late coming, but I do apologise, sir."
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? So you made up then? You knew he was okay with it? Yeah. Wow, you are a great storyteller as well, Mike. Back in '93, when I watched you, when I was 17, I was sat there, and it was the first time that I know of that I got goose pimples watching a performer on stage. And when you would sing Nessun Dorma, you give everything you have in a performance. It is just phenomenal. So that time in the time in Barry Island, I remember sitting there. We'd sit and watch you in the theatre show. Then you'd do the Pig and Whistle, the adult show, and then you would hang around and talk to all the the Redcoats, the Bluecoats, the team. And I remember Dean Winters was there, and he had a great laugh. Remember Dean?
So Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy Dean, yeah. Oh, yeah. You two just had all of us, and we'd sit there and just listen to you and Dean all night after your gig.
Dizzy Dean, man, what a character. Mike, I'm learning love changes everything. Can you believe it? I can. Bloody hell! Have you got the music? Maybe you could give it me.
That's him. Is he there in your pocket? Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, Dizzy D, man. You want to hear me sing Love Changes Everything? I can't make the last.
Oh, amazing days. I was only 17. I was a budding, learning ventriloquist, and I just sit there and watch the acts every week. You and Paul Levent, Barry Cheese, I remember. And
Barry Cheese?
yes, all those names. But I was just in awe. And so I didn't really see you again until we worked on a cruise ship together, which was only about 8 years ago now, I think. So,
ridiculous, isn't it?
A lot of time passed, yeah. But I know that you played the Big Bopper. I saw you on TV actually plugging the musical when you was in Buddy. Yeah. You were a teenager and Vince Fontaine in Grease. What was the musicals like for you, Mike? Because you were in your element doing those big parts, weren't they?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, the chance to get a West End credit and all that. But Buddy, the Buddy Holly story was a great time in my life. I did it for 1 year in London, and I did it for 8 weeks in Canada, in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
But Alex Bourne, and Alex Paez, the three of us, we were just, if I say so myself, we were the powerhouse of that rock and roll trio. We really were. And we gave not saying that the others who played it didn't.
No, sure.
But I just know that we were drained from doing it, and because it was so high energy, very energetic performances. But we had such a good laugh on that, though, mate. We were naughty, and it was fun.
That's nice to have a cast around you that you could just really get on with. You enjoy going into work, but then you can enjoy the social life as well, in between. But those shows that can be completely demanding vocally, couldn't they?
Weird time of our lives. Like, Buddy was just a great crack, it really, really was. And then I went into Greece, and Shane Ritchie was playing Danny Zuko, so yes. I had a good mate in there. And I thoroughly enjoyed Greece. I did Greece for nearly 2 years, and even today, would you believe it, I find it very hard to listen to anything from the Grease musical, because I think it really made me feel, it greased me out, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's over greased.
When it comes on the telly, I think, I just can't watch it. Yeah, but it was a great musical. It was at the Dominion, and we jammed it every performance. I never knew And hand on heart, I never knew a quiet audience when I did Grease, or Buddy actually, but Grease being such a massive theatre as the Dominion, you know that.
That's huge, yeah.
Oh, to have it rammed, absolutely rammed, and the energy coming from it, you know, it was just incredible.
Oh, it must be great days. Do you remember when you first got the call to be on the Royal Variety performance that first time? Because you've done 3, haven't you? When did you? Was you with Laurie Mansfield at the time?
Yeah, I was with Laurie, and there's the story of how I got onto the Royal Variety, because I've done 2 children's ones, you see, and one adult one then, as it were. And,
yes.
So I was at the North Pier, Blackpool, with Cannon and Ball. God rest him, Bobby.
Bless.
And Laurie Mansfield said to me, and he said, now look, Mike, he says, tonight, he said, Bernard Delfont, Lord Delfont is in watching the show. Now, he's going to talk to you afterwards, but please, 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 don't get involved in any conversation. Just say thank you. I'm not going to spoil anything, but just say thank you. So after the show, Lord Delfont came round with Laurie, and he just went, of course, I think it's that problem. And all that concerning, the way that you did after his man very well, and what was it to Laurie, man, the whole thing, probably. And he stopped talking, and literally went, thank you very much. And I looked at Laurie, and I went, what's that? He said, you're doing the Royal Variety performances, you've just been offered it.
He translated for you.
But it was a nerve-wracking experience, and if I'm truly honest, because it can all be a bit romantic, can't it? And you can all think back and think that it was a tough crowd. Some people seem to really crack it on there, and some get away with it, and some die. And I think I just got away with it by the skin of my teeth. The biggest laugh I got on the night, the rest of the country wouldn't have understood it watching it on the telly, is in the newspapers that the day that we filmed, all the trains couldn't move because there was leaves on the line. So when I did my Michael Jackson moonwalk, I said, I'd love to go forward, but there's leaves on the line. and the place erupted.
Topical.
Massive laugh.
Brilliant.
And and I was doing my old song routine in those days, you know, which you would have seen me do and all that, with all, you know, the old songs being modernised and you know, at least it was original. You know, it was my own little. Everything I did was original. I didn't do any kind of set stop gags or anything. I mean, 'cause I can't remember them. And yeah, it was a great experience. And when I did the children's Royal Variety, my son Tom, who's now 31, he was born, and the director allowed me to announce his birth in front of Princess Margaret. And I had to follow Kylie and Jason and Kylie, and their big hit was "Especially for You." So I had to bloody follow "Especially for You." All these kids screaming over what the hell am I gonna say? And Billy Pierce said, was it Billy?
Oh, the children's Royal Variety, was it?
Yeah, he said to me, he said, oh, you were rather quick there, weren't you? Rather quick to say, you wouldn't mind that slot. He said, nobody wants that slot. He says, you got to follow Billy Kylie the dog. How are you going to do that? I thought, oh, God, what have I said? So, anyway. Lots of good memories. I'm proud to say that I did it. You know, so, and I wish John Courtney, who's a mate, and he's about to do the Royal Variety performance. It is something you'll keep for the rest of your life. You know? Yeah,
definitely. It must be a memory to hold. And he's got no audience, though. It's very sad. He's got to do it to screens like he did on the actual show. But
well, that'll be normal for John. Only joking, boy. Only joking. You know that. And a terrific performer.
Yes, that's amazing. You've got so many accolades, and British Comedy Awards awarded you the Best Stage Newcomer in 1990. You've got awards. You've got so many things to your name, like the Mario Lanza. That was one of your babies, wasn't it? That was.
Yeah. Well, the Comedy Award, I had no idea really what all that was about, you know, and I was a nominee. So I just thought, well, you know, we'll go along and it'll be a great experience.
Yeah.
But I always remember them saying, Mike, can you come just sit on the end, please? We need you here. And I still didn't clock it. I still didn't even realise.
Really? Do you remember who was in your category at the time?
Yeah, I do. Julian Clary.
Oh.
Was it Julian? That could be wrong. There was Billy Pearce. Julian. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I can say
great!
that.
Wow.
1990. Yeah, it would have been. What else was in it? Oh gosh, my brain these days. The lockdown's completely fried my brain.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just trying to remember everything. Wasn't Barrymore back then? Was it? Was it because he was around that time, or?
Yeah, no, he wasn't in the.
No.
Oh, do you know what? When they said the winner is Mike Doyle, you know, flipping heck. You know, and then, you know, some people say, oh, well, I haven't prepared a speech, and I haven't. I just didn't know what to say. So I said something stupid like, hey, Billy Beers, we can share this. Oh, God, I don't know what I said. And sat right in front of me when I'm accepting this award from Frank Carson.
Really? Oh.
There's Mr. Bean, you know, there's
Atkinson.
There he is.
Wow.
Yeah, Atkinson, yeah, there he is. Sat in the flipping audience, yawning at me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See, these are the things you remember, innit? These little moments where you think, oh, don't
Sat
yawn.
there, that kind of face, that rubber face.
Yeah. Wow. But the British Comedy Awards was just one of those greatest moments. You remember Barrymore with his awards and Spike Milligan with his moments. It's just such a great show, wasn't it? Really great. So well done on that win, though, mate. That's incredible to have that.
And then thank you, mate. And then you mentioned the Mario Lanza thing, and funny, I'm looking at the poster now. I've got it in my office. But we did two seasons of that, and they were through the summer, you know. So we kind of did Blackpool, North Pier for 8 weeks, but only 2 nights a week, you know. Then we move on to Scarborough. Then we just go all over the UK with this Mario Lanza thing, and I used it really as a way of getting me out there in the theatres. So the first half, I would make out that I was Mario Lanza's support artist. You know, he's got to have a reason for having a different first half to the second half.
Okay. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And then in the second year, we went back to the same theatres, but we called it An Evening with Mike Doyle, and including his Mario Lanza tribute.
Nice.
So we kind of swapped the roles around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was that then. We only did 2 seasons of it. Made money and lost money. Lost more money than made.
Yeah, we do that. We got the passion. We put that into the business, but we do enjoy doing it at the time, don't we? And sometimes it's not always about the money. It's nice to make it back or break even, but which is what we aim for these days.
I remember driving home from... I drove over to Skegness, to the Embassy Centre. You would have worked that. And
I did once,
the number one dressing room there with all these photographs of all the biggest stars in the world.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, brilliant.
In comes the tour manager, and I say, so what's the business? Not good, Mike. And I was there now every Wednesday for 6 weeks. Not great, but then they're saying that what's killing the town is this day trippers. People are coming in and they're not staying for the evenings. I said, right, okay. Yeah, there's been quite a few shows that suffered, you know, and I've gone, oh, right, okay. Oh, God, okay. How many in then? Well, we hope to knock on the door at about 60. Oh, God. So I played that enormous theatre to hardly anybody. And,
oh, wow.
I had a band to pay for, PA system to pay for, people to pay for.
God.
And then I drove home from Skegness, got flashed by a spook camera, and almost ran out of petrol. And I slept in the car in the Streatham services on the motorway.
Oh, wow. Showbiz.
Yeah. Well, you know, I supported the Stylistics for 3 months, and I was on £100 a night. And because it was a tour and you were travelling all over the UK, the £100, less commission, less petrol, less food.
Less hotel.
But I couldn't afford a hotel, so I stayed in the car loads of times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's good to say you've done it, isn't it?
Yeah, people don't see the glamour, do they, in this job? The behind the scenes. Can you tell me briefly about the musical The Contender, where you play a boxer?
Yeah,
that looks
was an interesting
fantastic.
thing. That was written by a wonderful playwright and songwriter called Mal Pope, who lives in Swansea.
Yes.
And he has written some big, huge musicals. And he had this idea of someone to play Tommy Farr. It was a life story of Tommy Farr, who fought Joe Louis in 1937 Yankee Stadium for the world title. And he was just a valley boy, but hard as nails. And the story is a rags to riches to rags story. So Michael Bogdanov, who is a Shakespearean director, no longer with us, they come round to my house and he's laughing at me, literally thinking, for goodness sake, we're wasting our time. The boy plays buttons, for God's sake. What's he doing again? So Mal Pope said, look, Michael, I want to give Mike a chance here. So he overrode, is that a word, the director? And
yes.
we then went into a 5-week rehearsal. 5 weeks.
5? Wow.
Because it wasn't just, it was to do with fitness, boxing techniques,
yes.
skipping. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you have to learn to skip.
Yeah, but it's all part of the role, isn't it?
Fight directors, health and safety, the whole thing. And it turned out that Michael Bogdanov, who didn't rate me at all, he got me and I got him. And I loved the way he directed. And I had some fantastic people in that show who helped me. Some brilliant, like Phil Harris and Yeyen. They really, really helped me. Klinos Daniel, some fantastic, brilliant, RADA-style people who really helped me. But do you know what? I put everything into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. It's out there on YouTube if anybody wishes to watch it, the whole thing.
Oh, brilliant. I will check that out. I mean, it's a completely different role, to other roles that you do when you're the big bopper, and then you're a big boxer.
Laurie Mansfield, when he came to see it, he looked at me and said, "There are moments in here with one twinkle in your eye, and you've ruined it, because everyone believes you. Everyone believes that you're Tommy Farr, and that you're working your way up through your career." And that you're going to fight this man in America. Everyone believes this.
Wow.
The moment you twinkle, you've knackered the whole thing.
It's gone, yeah.
So that was fantastic advice.
That's brilliant. I mean, Laurie knows his stuff, doesn't he? So that's really nice to hear.
That was just amazing amazing advice. He saved me there with that, because there were a few moments where,
Yeah, there are moments where you think, can I ad-lib here and do a little bit of Norman Wisdom and do a couple of impressions before I get punched?
This wasn't a comedy.
No.
It was a serious play.
But that shows another side of you, Mike, doesn't it? It shows the sensitive, the great actor that you are, as well as the singing and the comedy, which is... I can't wait to see that. I'm going to put that on.
Yeah, please do.
And also, I love to see the comedy side as well. And you've done this play called Bouncers, which I saw the promo for the other day. Looks brilliant. Is that something that's going to come back?
Well, that was, we did 2 seasons of that, 2 years of that. Richard Tunley, who's another director here in Wales, excellent director actually, he asked me if I'd like to do it. It was a 4-hander, a John Drodber play. I'd never heard of it. And it was a big learn, because I was on every page of the script, as indeed they were, Massive, long pieces of text.
But like monologues, were there lots of monologues in it?
Like monologues, huge monologues.
Really?
And I broke down the monologue and I just looked at it like learning a story.
Yes.
About the story of what's happening. So the idea of that was you play... The main character for me was, in my role, was Lucky Eric. It was set in Wales, this bouncer story, but I thought, we'll mix things up a bit, and I'll have Lucky Eric, not as a Welshman. The other boys played Welsh accents, but I played Lucky Eric like that, thinking, you wouldn't want to mess with me. so there's a lovely moment that we created in that, where the nightclub's about to kick out, and it's a cold night, and Lucky Eric is just looking up at the stars, and he's going, "Oh, you lonesome? You right?" And the worst thing I could do here is sing good,
Yes.
"Do you miss me tonight?" And then of course I get the piss taken out of me by the other bouncers, and then and it's all because he misses his wife, and then he confesses then and says that. He said, "Oh, I'm all right. Now they left me, mate. Took the kids, took the lot. Yeah, took the lot. There we are. Great. Yeah, move on. Because he's breaking his heart. He just wants her to come back. And whenever somebody knocks the door, he thinks it's her. It's never, because it's never her. It's never going to be her. You know? And so that was a lovely moment for me.
That's quite poignant.
It was great. Yeah, loved it.
Ice and Teeth. Do you know what? I was so delighted when you were proposed as a water rat very recently, and I think you're still Baby Rat, aren't you? You still Baby Rat?
I'm still Baby Rat, yeah.
I think so.
I need to go to lodge a lot more than I do. It's just the cruising. I was literally, the last few years, I was hardly ever home, you know. But I have to say, I proudly wear my emblem. I proudly say from the stage, and I proudly... I literally say to the audience, ladies and gentlemen, 45 years in show business, 30 years in pantomime, and I'm also just become a water rat. And the water rat bit gets a massive round of applause. And it's got quite interesting how many Americans, when you do the Queen Mary 2 and that,
yes.
Lots of Americans, and they love it. They absolutely love it. And when I walk around the ship and I see Laurel and Hardy, and they got the big photographs of Laurel Hardy and the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
There they are, and they're wearing their water rat emblem.
I know, they were proud too.
Makes me so proud,
Isn't it amazing?
I hope next year to be seen a lot more in lodge and to participate a bit more.
Yeah, we hope so too, because it's we are a work in order, so we appreciate that we have to work, and if we can come into lodge, then it's the best thing. But it's always the best thing when you do get into lodge, and the banter is just brilliant between everybody.
Because I'm so shy, and I'm thinking, will I ever be able to join in the banter as much as these do, Yeah, and I get a bit shy, but
yeah, I've been there 6 years. I'm still sat there learning, But there are moments where you go in there and you it didn't get a laugh. I'll shut up. But then you work your way up to it, and I think when there is moments. The banter just becomes natural after a while. But you are the longest reigning Baby Rat, I think, in history now because of this year. But you'll be so welcome when you get back, though. It'd be so nice. It's an honour to be in the same business with you, mate. And I pray I'm never in a TV talent show with you, Mike. You've got a wonderful song out there called "What Colour Is the Wind," and it's still selling, isn't it, for the Cardiff Institute for the Blind? Can we give that a quick plug?
Yeah, thank you. That was an interesting story. You see how that came about. I was playing golf. It was a little 4-ball. And dear Cedric Jones, somebody else no longer with us, he had this annoying habit of wanting to let you know that he could sing, right? It's a kind of a Welsh thing, I suppose.
Okay.
But he used to do this kind of over-the-top vibrato, He goes, I remember... it's a bit like that. And so one day, on the 9th, he starts to sing, because we decided to have a break on the 9th and have something to drink or whatever. And he starts singing this song, What Colour Is the Wind? And instead of saying, shut up, Cedric, we all just looked at him, and then he sang the whole thing. I said, my God, Cedric, where on earth did you? Oh, he said, it's a Charlie Lansbury song. He said, I sing it in my act. So him and his wife, bless them, they surround the old age people's homes and entertain lovely man. Yeah, great golfer. He taught a lot of golf with me. He was a great guy. And so I learned the song. We start singing it in the show, and then some people came to me and said, look, would you consider recording it? I said, I can't really afford to do it, So some local businessmen and all got involved. Long story short, we made the single, and all the money goes to charity, and it goes to blind charities. First of all, it started off at Cardiff Institute for the Blind, then it went to the Royal Institute for the Blind, and various blind charities, and it's helped an awful lot of people. And we bought a special computer for a little girl who was born sighted and lost her sight when she was something like 9 years old.
Oh wow! So it's doing a lot of good, this song, and you can purchase this from your website, I think, but you can download from iTunes or Amazon.
It's still available on iTunes. We can download it for 75p or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's available on all streaming. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, and all that, and of course through the website. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's a lovely water rat thing to do as well. Bless you for doing that. And we'll make sure we put a link down to that song. Mike, thank you so much for your time today. Love to you and your family. You're such a great talent. And I'll never forget meeting you in '93. I'm so pleased that we chatted today. Thank you so much for being part of it.
Mate, I'm a big fan of yourself. You know that. And,
bless you.
And you've become just the most fantastic entertainer, performer, ventriloquist. You're out there now. You're one of the biggest. You're one of the biggest in the country. Yeah, you've done absolutely brilliant, Steve. I'm so proud of you, mate.
Oh, bless you. The check's in the post. That's so kind. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Bye, Steve. Thank you, mate.
Eyes and Teeth.
Thank you to the fantastic Mike Doyle. To keep up to date with Mike Doyle and his upcoming dates, you could find him on www.mikedoyle.co.uk. And there is a possible chance of seeing him in Sleeping Beauty at Cardiff Castle this March to April with Sophie Evans. Check out his website for details. You can also download Mike Doyle's charity single, What Colour is the Wind? Today's comedy quote comes from Water Rat, the Welsh Prince of Laughter, pantomime legend, Wyn Calvin. It is now a commonly held belief that laughter is the best medicine. It's also the best international language. I feel that there are more positively good people in the world than there are negatively bad. Thank you, Wyn. Eyes and Teeth is written, produced and hosted by Steve Hewlett. Vocals provided by Lola, Larissa and Nina Hewlett. Special guest vocals by Rich T. Eyes and Teeth music and jingles are produced and performed by Kevin Dean. Tune in next time when I'll be speaking to another brother Water Rat and the fantastic Kev Orkian.